All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. This video here today is an interesting one. I kind of came across this when I was researching the Vegas preseason odds. A couple of videos I did recently, and I did the research on it. I had a hunch on something, and I was right. So what this video is since the merger, because some of the information just gets a little muddied. I know some people have complained that, oh, we don't have it before the merger, blah, blah, blah. I know, and I wish I did have accurate info on everything before the merger, but I just don't, unfortunately. It's hard to get. So in this video, what I'm talking about is what star. There's always a top player in almost every champion. Every champion, you can make a case there's a star every year. Sometimes there's two that are close, like 79, Seattle had Jack Sikma and Dennis Johnson, really close. You know, they're both all-star level players. Dennis Johnson won the finals MVP, really, really close. But for the most part, there's a star. And then there's usually a sidekick. And that can even be debatable, and that's okay. Who still maintained winning the championship while having your number two player out the longest? Who did that? What number two missed the most games and the star still maintained winning the championship? We'll get right into it. In 1977, Portland Trailblazers won the championship. The best player was Bill Walton. He was finals MVP. The next year in 78, he won the league MVP, clearly the best player on the team. But the second best player was Maurice Lucas. I don't see how that's even debatable, but he missed 3 games all year. So Bill Walton was not without his number two for much at all. Okay. And when you're out your number two, it bothers chemistry. Okay. So you have to kind of form chemistry with the rest of the team without him. Now a guy who was on the bench is now a starter. It just kind of, changes everything. But you still have to maintain that level until that star comes back, And if it's only a few games, then it really didn't bother anything. In 78, Elvin Hayes was the best player on Washington. And the number two was Bob Dandridge. He only missed 7 games. Now, if you want to make a case for Wes Unseld, he was getting older. He was a top 75 player. But, that year, no, it was Dandridge all the way. But Wes Unseld only missed 2 games, so it wouldn't matter anyway. 79, Seattle, I was just talking about it. Who was better? I put Dennis Johnson, but if you want to go with Sikma, that's fine. Sikma missed no games, and Dennis Johnson 2 games. In 1980, the Lakers, it was Kareem's team. He won the league MVP. He was the best player. Magic Johnson missed 5 games. In 81, Larry Bird, Boston was the champion. Larry Bird, the best player. And then you can decide, was it Robert Parrish or Tiny Archibald as the second best player? Parrish missed no games. Tiny Archibald missed 2. In 82, it's now Magic's team. Kareem missed 6 games. 83, Moses Malone was the league MVP. Clearly the best player. Dr. J missed 10 games. 84, Bird was the best player. McHale, the sidekick, who missed no games. But if you want to try to make a case for Robert Parrish, he only missed 2, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So in 85, it was Magic's team. Kareem missed 3 games. In 86, Larry Bird, definitely McHale, is the second best player. He missed 14 games, which is crazy considering they were 40-1 when McHale was out 14 games. That's impressive, actually. In 1987, Magic's team, when they won the championship, James Worthy was the number 2. He missed no games. And if you want to try to make a case for Kareem, he only missed 4 games, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. In 88, again, Magic. Worthy only missed 7 games. In 89, Isaiah Thomas for Detroit. Joe Dumars missed 13. In 1990, Isaiah Thomas, the best player, won Finals MVP. Joe Dumars missed 7 games only. For the Bulls, in 91, 2, and 3, obviously Jordan. Pippen being the second best player. He missed no games, and 1 game. Akeem Olajuwon in 94, his best player was Otis Thorpe. I think he was an all-star the year before. No games. In 95, a little tricky because they traded Otis Thorpe for Clyde Drexler. So you trade your second best player for your new second best player. So I just combined them. And combined, they missed 11 games. 1996, Michael Jordan, Pippen missed 5 games. In 97, Bulls, it was Pippen missed no games. In 98, Michael Jordan, and the Bulls won it. Scottie Pippen missed 38 games, and still the Bulls won the championship. In 99, Tim Duncan, best player. David Robinson missed 1 game. In 2000, 2001, and 2002, it was clearly Shaq, the best player. Kobe missed 16, 14, and 2. In 03, Tim Duncan, the best player for San Antonio. Tony Parker, the second best player, missed no games. And then and if you want to make a case for Bruce Bowen, he missed no games. He was important that year, sure, but he didn't miss any games anyway. 2004, it's Ben Wallace, best player. He was all NBA, all that. Chauncey Billups, the other Hall of Famer. He was the second best player. I ran the stats. I ran everything. No doubt he was the second best player in 04. Won the Finals MVP. Billups only missed 4 games. So far, from 77 to 04, that covers 28 seasons. Scottie Pippen missing 38 games so far was the most for the number 2 player on a championship team. Games missed with 38. That's the most. All right, 05, San Antonio. You got Duncan again. Ginobili this time. He was an all-star that year. He's the second best player. He missed 8 games. I think Parker only missed like 6. If you want to make a case for him, that's fine. In 2006, Dwayne Wade, the best player, no doubt about it. Shaq missed 23 games. That was a lot, but still not as many as 38. In 07, Duncan, best player. Tony Parker missed 5 games. In 08, Kevin Garnett, who was the defensive player of the year. Paul Pierce was the second best player, missed 2 games. He was the Finals MVP that year. Some of these more modern ones, it doesn't matter as much. Now, it's comparable. You know, I compare them no matter what. But it just doesn't matter as much because these people are used to load managing, having guys out. It's like no big deal to them. But back in the 80s, 90s, and even like maybe the first half of the 2000s, you're trying to build a chemistry, and it mattered because people had roles to play. So when a guy was out, that role is now taken away. You got to try to fill the void somehow. It's different. Today, it probably is easier. It's just that the level, is just so much lower is what it is. But it's just easier for him because it's just like, okay, this guy's out. You just bring in this guy. He shoots 10 threes a game. Well, this guy shoots 10 threes a game. This guy stinks on defense. This guy sucks on defense too. Oh, what do you know? Anyway, so in 09, it was Kobe. 09 and 10, Kobe was the best player. Pau Gasol missed 1 game, and then the next year he missed 17 games. In 2011, Dallas won the title. Dirk Nowitzki, the best player. Now, this one is debatable. Now, I wrote down all of them because you tell me. I put Sean Marion, but you can make a case for a bunch of players. Sean Marion missed 2 games. Jason Kidd, 2 games. Tyson Chandler missed 8 games. And Jason Terry missed no games. Surely it's one of them. 2012. Miami won. LeBron James was the best player. Dwayne Wade missed 33 games. Now, that's a lot. And again, it cost them the number 1 seed. They didn't maintain the number 1 seed. They were, I think, the 2 seed that year. So, they didn't maintain the 1 seed at all. It cost them that. Now, luckily, there just wasn't really any real threat when Derrick Rose went down. I think they were like a 50-16 team that year. But when Derrick Rose went down, that was pretty much it. I mean, it was like, I think Indiana was really the only real team that really had a chance to beat them. I think that might have been the year that Boston pushed them to 7 in the conference finals. But I think Bosh was hurt for that whole series, so it kind of made it more even or whatever. But even without Bosh, they still beat Boston because Boston was on its last leg. They were finished. Part of the reason why Ray Allen left Boston, I assume. All right, 2013, same thing. LeBron, the best player. Dwayne Wade missed 13 games. 2014, Duncan, believe it or not, is still getting first-team All-NBA, so you got to call him the best player. Tony Parker missed 14 games. And even if you want to say Parker was the best player, or Kawhi Leonard, well, Duncan only missed a handful of games anyway. 2015, it's Steph Curry with Klay Thompson, the second best player. He missed 5 games. 2016, LeBron James, the best player on the team. Kyrie Irving missed 29 games, which is a lot. But again, it cost them the 1 seed. But when that 1 seed is the Atlanta Hawks, don't even have a single player in the All-NBA, and you win 60 games, that'll tell you everything you need to know about the level of competition in the East in 2015, 2016. And I think actually, no, that was 15, the Atlanta won 60. But in 2016, I mean, come on, there was no real danger of losing in 2016. Come on, it's just Toronto, please. 2017, take your pick. Was it Durant the best player or Curry the best player? Durant missed 20, Curry missed 3 in 2017. In 2018, Durant missed 14, Curry missed 31. But again, it cost them the 1 seed because these guys missed so many games. They did win the championship, but they didn't maintain the 1 seed while doing it. 2019, Toronto, Kawhi Leonard the best player. Kyle Lowry was an all-star, so I'm assuming he's the second best player. He missed 17 games. There's other guys like Pascal Siakam and Marc Gasol, and they missed less than that. 2020 Lakers, take your pick. If LeBron's the best player, then AD only missed 9 games. If Anthony Davis was the best player, then LeBron James missed only 15 games. So either way, it won't matter. 21, Giannis best player. Chris Middleton missed 14 games. 22, Steph Curry, best player. Now, I don't know who the second best player was, but Klay Thompson came back off of injury. These guys are both all-stars. Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins. Draymond Green missed 36 games, which is a lot. And Andrew Wiggins missed 9 games. Now, I remember from doing the odds, Golden State was still the second or third. I think they were third best odds to win the championship in 22. So obviously, if Green, Wiggins, Klay Thompson were all healthy and there all year, they probably would have been first. Vegas knew what was up. They knew what was coming. Of course, there was a lot of upsets and injuries for other teams, but whatever. 23, Jokic, best player on Denver. Jamal Murray missed 17 games. Clearly the second best player on Denver. 24, Boston. Now, some people might argue that Jaylen Brown was the best player because he won the MVPs for the conference finals and the finals and all that. And you can argue that. That's fine. Jason Tatum missed 10 games. Jaylen Brown missed 14 games. So again, like I said, a lot of these more modern teams are just used to being without players a lot because it happens all the time. It was rare that a star missed a lot of time in the 80s and 90s. It just was. It was like big news. Like, oh, man, he's out? Really? Like this year, what do you got? Joel Embiid. I don't even know, but I'm sure there's other players, big names that are out. They're always out. Giannis is always hurt in the playoffs the last couple of years. I'm just saying, like, this is just a regular thing now. It's no big deal. But anyway, we come down to who had their number 2 player miss the most games and not only won the championship, but maintained the number 1 seed. Michael Jordan, 1998 Bulls, with Pippen missing 38 games. That's the most since the merger of a number 2. Now, some of these number 2s, you could get a little subjective or whatever, but I did not see any that were going to be missed more than 38 games. I just didn't see that. So anyway, again, just another angle where you can put Michael Jordan on the top of the pile. I mean, I've just never seen anything like it. Doing this research, it's insane. Like, you literally come at it from any angle. And the weak attempts that these LeBron James fans try to come at Michael Jordan, all they ever say is, like, Pippen is a top 10 all-time player, overrate the hell out of him. They underrate their competition. Oh, the competition was weak, blah, blah, blah. Well, whatever. We know that that's BS. That's crap. And the Bulls destroyed anything in their path. No other team in NBA history has done that. Destroyed every inferior team outside of Boston in the 50s and 60s. Every other team has at least one bad loss to an inferior team. Michael Jordan never did in the playoffs. And then, of course, the watered down thing. I've done so many videos on that. Just totally debunking the crap out of that one, too. But that's pretty much it. Or they'll throw in about, oh, Michael Jordan got swept by Boston. It's like, yeah, everybody got beat by Boston in those, in the 86 especially. Nobody could beat them in Boston, so nobody could beat them. If you can't win them in Boston, then you're not going to be able to beat the Celtics because they had home court advantage. But anyway, that's it. That's all they can come up with. Those things that are either easily debunked, not even true, or not really that big of a deal. It's like, oh, a 38-win team, got beat by a 59-win team. Okay? What were you expecting? Some different result? I mean, there's only been like 2 upsets ever of that caliber, somebody having that many more wins than the team that beat them, like twice ever. A 30-win team losing to a 67-win team, or a 40-win team losing to a 59-win team. Are those some big insults or something? Because so what? That's nothing. That's what's supposed to happen. They were supposed to lose. Yeah, they didn't pull a miracle upset. Big whoop. But anyway, as far as the crux of this video goes, once again, Michael Jordan, missing the second best player at 35 years old, maintains the number 1 seed and wins the championship without home court advantage. And Pippen, he was kind of, he did okay in the first couple rounds and, halfway through the conference finals, but he did start to falter a little bit. He did pick it back up in the finals a couple games, but, by game 6, I mean, he was non-existent, basically. I think games 5 and 6, he was not good in those 2 games at all. The last 2 that Jordan and Pippen ever played together, Pippen was not good in those 2 games at all. He was downright awful. Now, some of it wasn't his fault, the back injury and all that stuff. But anyway, they missed him for 38 games and still somehow maintained the number 1 seed. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you think that I missed some sidekick in one of these years that should have been in here over a guy that I have on the chart, let me know in the comments. I mean, I looked at everybody, and that's just the way I saw it. I didn't see any clear people. Like, if it was close, then I put them both in, or mentioned it on my sheet here. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and until next time.